sometimes poke a whole unpeeled eggplant all over with a fork and stick it in the microwave until I see the entire oval collapse into itself. And then I take it out and I scrape the meat out with the tines of my fork and mix that meat in a bowl with some feta cheese, olive tapenade, salt and pepper, and a decent glug of a really good olive oil at the end.
Yeah.
And then I mix and I serve that with bread. I just put a bowl of it out on the table for people. So, Mark, does rosé wine work with those flavors, or maybe a dry white Greek wine? Which is better?
Absolutely. I love the idea of rosé with it, but a dry white wine, like something from Portugal, like a Vinho Verde, or a nice white Rioja, or, so many wines go with that, for sure.
Hey, Mark, I just want to say, I'm going to say where everybody is. I'm in Guilford, Connecticut, and Carl Franklin is in Quaker Hill, Connecticut. We have Chris Prosperi in Simsbury, Connecticut, Joanne Church in New London, Connecticut, and Mark is in Grenada. and Mark, what are you doing in Grenada?
I am on the lovely island of Grenada, and I'm moving my daughter to this University of St. George. So she's going to be going to veterinary medicine school here.
Oh,
it's a beautiful, beautiful campus down here in the southern tip of Grenada. Mm-hmm. And the island is just brilliant. The people are so welcoming. I mean, you can walk the streets at night. It's so incredible. It really is.
Is the water that gorgeous aqua color?
It is. It is. You can see, you can go out to 30 feet of water and still see straight to the bottom.
Bring me a bottle of that when you come home, will you?
Yeah, right?
I'll choose something else. Okay. So I do eggplant another way too, but we're going to get to that later. I want to hear from all these folks about how they do eggplant. So, Carl, how do you like to do yours? Because I know you're a low carb guy.
Yes, but I'll tell you what. I went to this restaurant when I was in Disney at the Swan. The Swan and Dolphin are their on-premise hotels. They're not run by Disney, but they're on the property. And I went to this restaurant right in the Swan, off the lobby, called Il Mulino Trattoria. And we went for dinner. We, being Kelly and I, went for dinner. We sat down, and before they even took your order, they came around with this. Well, all I can say is like a cold eggplant tapenade.
Yeah,
so
good.
It's basically eggplant and tomatoes and garlic, olive oil, and salt and pepper, and it's chilled and then served with pecorino romano on it.
So good.
And and they brought, I know, and they brought like little toast points for it, but I wasn't eating that. I just was like, hey, can I get a couple more dishes of this? This is really good.
I'll just have that for dinner.
Yeah, I'll just have that. So I made it. I made it the other day, and I'll post a picture of it. But basically, you crush a few cloves of garlic, 4 or 5. You peel the eggplant and remove the ends. Cut it into 1-inch cubes. You blanch and peel 3 large tomatoes. Cut those into 1-inch cubes. You saute it all in olive oil over medium heat for like 5 minutes, and a little salt and pepper. Add the garlic at the end so it doesn't burn. And then you just want to get it soft and chill it and serve it with pecorino romano. It's so good.
Wow.
That sounds delicious.
It's the coldness that makes it good, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I think.
It's refreshing.
Does everybody, think the same thing that I think, which is eggplant is, even though it has its own flavor, it's got this, it's kind of a tapestry that accepts all kinds of other flavors that go with it. Do you all feel that?
I think
agree.
I always say it's vegetable tofu. Right? Because it soaks up it's like a sponge. It soaks up anything you put in it, and it picks up the flavors of anything you put in it.
It also,
which makes it so versatile.
It also adds a little thickness, like thickening to it, doesn't it? A little viscosity.
Yep.
Yeah. A little
such
texture,
a good ingredient.
right?
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people know exactly what to do with it because, you got eggplant parm. That's your staple, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's so versatile.
One of my all-time favorites.
And I think it's used almost everywhere in the world, right? And you can't say that about all food, right? I mean, from the Middle East to Turkey to China, everywhere has eggplant
Russia
dishes.
Yeah.
You know who was really famous for doing microwave eggplant? Barbara Kafka.
Oh, loved her.
She has since died, but she did the Microwave Gourmet, this cookbook that I loved.
Yeah.
And in it, I found how to do eggplant in the microwave. You just kind of stick a fork in it and throw it in there.
I have never heard that before. And I love that idea.
I know. It sounds
It's actually probably the best thing to cook in a microwave besides a potato.
Really?
It's not going to change it texturally or whatever.
But Mark, you know what happens when you take it out of the microwave after it's been in there for, I can't even remember, 5 or 10 minutes. You use the fork with the tines of the fork to, scrape the meat out, but the meat is really hot. Yeah. So everybody watch out for your fingers.
Gotta be careful.
Right.
You do it in the oven, same. Right? That stuff stays hot for a long time.
Yeah. It just absorbs it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so Chris, how do you do your eggplant?
All right, and I'm doing a lot of it right now because we're getting bushels of eggplant every day. So I make a caponata, which is a very classic dish. And like Carl said, this one you cook, but then you chill and you serve it cold, and it's so good. So mine is eggplant that you just cube up and saute, or you can roast. I saute some onions, some garlic, throw in some fresh tomato. Then I put the eggplant back in and just mix it all up. And then I finish it with olive oil, balsamic vinegar, plumped golden raisins because it gives it a little sweetness, and a small handful of some capers, and just mix it all together. Then I take it in a pan, chill it, and gosh, you can use it for everything. And I like it because it's so versatile. I'll eat that just smear it onto some toasted bread. It's really good.
Bruschetta.
I'll take a couple tablespoons and throw it in a pan and toss it with some penne pasta, right? So you can use it there. I mean, that's the cool thing about doing dishes like this, or even the one Carl said. You can do, once you get it made, you can do so much with it.
Here's the thing, kids, to do this instead of your regular tomato sauce, because the eggplant, especially if you get some color on it, it has that real, I wouldn't say smoky, but it adds
meaty,
this.
I always say, right? It has a meaty texture.
Yes.
It has a meaty texture.
Yes.
And you all agree it's coming up now in the garden. I don't have.
Oh my gosh, bushels!
It's everywhere.
Stop sending me eggplant.
It's like
I give up, and not just the big Italian eggplant, the skinny Japanese one. I mean, oh my god, white ones, purple ones. Right? Oh my gosh.
Wow.
It's eggplant time right now.
So go to your local farmer's market.
Oh my gosh.
See all the varieties.
All over it. Yeah.
Yep. So wait, what makes eggplant white? Is it like
I think
asparagus?
It's just a different variety. No, it's just a different variety. Yeah, no, they don't bury it in the dirt.
No sunlight.
Put a tent over it.
Albino.
It's just a different variety.
Hey, the other day I spotted an albino Dalmatian. Well, it's the least I could do for him.
Oh my God. Carl with the dad jokes on a roll.
There we go.
Did you say bad or dad?
Yes.
I said dad, but I meant dad.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back to you with more of the Food Schmooze Party at faithmiddleton.com. I'm Faith Middleton with Carl Franklin, Chris Prosperi, Joanne Church, and Mark Raymond. And we're really digging into eggplant. And Mark is actually in Grenada. He's on the island of Grenada, doing a trip with his daughter.
Green tropical paradise.
With the aqua water. It just doesn't get better.
Mark, I got to tell you, you gave me some wine the other day, and in there was an Italian white wine. I can't remember the name of it. I should have taken a picture of the bottle. I'm sorry. But it was so good, and it had a little sparkle to it. It was very crisp.
I had that too.
The Filegro.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a Vermentino from Piedmont. It's absolutely outstanding. That would be great with eggplant.
I was just thinking that, right?
that.
That's an eggplant wine.
How do you spell it? Mark, I'm looking at the bottle, but it's too far away. How do you spell Fallegro?
Fallegro. Fallegro.
Okay. And what do you think the price is around what per bottle?
It would be probably about $17 a bottle retail.
Not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Under 20.
Considering
Under
what's
20.
going on now, that really works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a great value.
Yeah. I got to get me some more of that.
These whites are like that white you gave us is like so universal. It seems to go. I mean, I could see myself opening it if I'm kind of stuck with spaghetti.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, because it has that acid quality that
It
would
has-
counterplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That crispness. It jumps to the forefront. It almost tastes like it's effervescent, but it's not. There's no bubbles to it.
Wow.
It
feels like it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
I love wines like that.
It's like
They
a
have little
sparkling
sippy to it.
stream, It just
Right.
clears your palate.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to get poetic now. And you'll be sorry.
No.
Joanne, what do you do with eggplant?
Well, I do a lot like eggplant parm, but one thing that I do more often is eggplant barta. So barta is a Hindu word for mashed. So it's like mashed eggplant. And it's simple, delicious side dish.
This is like
Wow, that
bygone
sounds so
barta.
cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
it's easy. You take a large eggplant, you rinse it, dry it, and then you rub it with olive oil, cut a few slits in it, and put garlic cloves in those slits, as many as you want. And then you put the broiler on high and put the eggplant under the broiler for like 20 minutes. You have to turn it several times, maybe every 5 minutes. You remove it from the oven and let it cool. Once it's cool, then you remove the skin and put that in a bowl. Then in a frying pan, I use 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of ghee and put in a half.
Did you say ghee?
Ghee.
Yep, clarify.
I had a new friend, see one of our recipes with ghee, and she's of Indian descent, and she said she almost went crazy when she saw that recipe. So that was great for you to bring that up, Joanne.
Yeah. So you put a half a chopped onion, saute it until like light golden, add a cup of de-seeded chopped tomatoes, a little salt, and cook the tomatoes till they break down till they're soft. Then you add a half an inch of crushed ginger, half a teaspoon of cumin, a half a teaspoon of turmeric, a half a teaspoon of garam masala.
Right.
Then if you want to kick up the heat, you could add some Thai green chili peppers. Then you take that and you put it in the bowl with the eggplant and mash it up. It's delicious. And if you wanted to make it a dip, you could put it in the food processor and make it dip consistency.
Smooth
but it's
it.
easy and it's nice. It's so flavorful and it'll go with anything as a side dish. Really.
And
We were
refreshing
listing off
too,
those
right?
ingredients. My palate and my brain was going ding, 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 ding.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking you could sell that, Joanne.
Yeah.
You could start a business selling just that dip. That would be-
Wow.
You know what's funny? That none of us talked about just slicing eggplant and putting it on the grill.
Frying it. Yeah.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I do like
It's a
that.
great
Yeah.
ingredient to
Yeah.
throw.
Yeah.
Totally.
Or egg wash, breadcrumbs, and fry it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Fry it
another
and put some
like.
tomato sauce and mozzarella.
Spoken like true Italians.
I do those layers where I slice the eggplant very, very thin.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And then
yeah,
I
yeah.
start layering all those pieces on top of each other. And
Yeah.
in between each layer, I'm doing jarred tomato sauce.
Sure, like a lasagna.
Yeah. And then I'm, maybe a sprinkle of cheese and,
Oh, so good.
and then,
Wow.
and then I'm, throwing that in a dish into the oven and baking it. And then I let it cool down completely and cut it into squares and just put that
my
out on the table for people
That sounds
to.
so good.
That sounds
Oh,
delicious.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, nowadays the air fryer is so simple to use for things like that,
Yep.
Yes.
For single serving or, serving for two, depending on the size of your air fryer.
Yeah, I'm with Mark on this one. I bought one months ago, and I thought I was going to be like stuck with it, and I'm never going to use it. And oh my gosh, every time I think it's not going to work, something's not going to work in there, I'm blown away by, oh my gosh, that worked in there too.
Yeah.
And you don't have to put the oven on.
Yeah, and it's the best reheater of almost everything. I reheat pizza in it.
I'm convinced.
Wow.
I'm gonna get rid of. Does anybody want to buy a crock pot that doesn't work? Because I'll sell it to you. In fact, I'll pay you to take it.
I love the crock pot. Oh, you just need one less thing.
I just need one less thing. Yes,
I got rid of my crock pot because my Instapot does the same thing.
Oh, that's what I meant. I meant Instapot. I have two Instapots. I have one that works and one that doesn't, and happily give away the one that doesn't work.
You know how we all got to a point where we got so much stuff. We've got so many devices on our counters that I began giving things away. The company would send me a particular thing, and I would try something out, and then I would say, "You want this?" And it would be brand new. And now I'm sorry that I don't have half of them. Like when you guys talk about the air fryer, I think, what is wrong with me?
You'd love it. I held out. Like Chris, it was like a month ago I got it, and it's like, wow.
I was a holdout.
Because check this out. I made some chicken cutlets, deep fried chicken cutlets the other day, and they went in the fridge, and now they're like all soggy and stuff. And I tried to reheat them in the toaster oven.
Back up in the air fryer.
Yeah, I tried to reheat it in the toaster oven. It didn't work.
Made for air fryer
that's
there.
And you don't have to put anything in it. You just throw it in the drawer. I put a little parchment paper in the drawer because then you don't even have to wash anything, and you pull everything out, you shut the drawer, and walk away.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
I
Sorry,
can
Kelly.
make toast in it. You can do anything.
Oh yeah, it makes perfect toasted bread, right? I made you can do like almost a pseudo grilled cheese in it too.
Absolutely.
I hope people who rent houses and apartments are listening to us because I mean the rental person because you wouldn't even have to put in a kitchen. You just put in a sink and a dishwasher and this thing, whatever thing we're talking about.
Air fryer,
I have a friend that's convinced the modern kitchen is going to be without the range.
Yeah, you said that before.
Yeah, the modern kitchen is going to have all these built-in devices and you're going to still have a wall oven and stuff, but everything else is so portable. It can be portable, right? Why not? The burners can be portable, right? Those induction burners can fold out of the walls.
They said that about the record player too, though.
Oh,
that came back.
I think the jukebox preceded that. If I'm not mistaken.
Hey, I didn't get a chance to share my eggplant recipe.
You got to do that.
Mark,
that's because you're in Grenada.
And it's got wine sprinkled all over it.
Oh,
I know. You soak it in.
Go, Mark.
Go, Mark.
All right. So every time I talk about this recipe, my mouth instantly starts to water because it's like one of my favorite dishes. It's made by my mother-in-law, and it's called menejenas. Menejenas. Don't ask me to spell it because I don't know how to spell it. But basically,
what culture?
It's from Argentina, and basically what it is you peel your eggplant, and then you make your sliced discs.
Okay.
Varying sizes, doesn't matter. Salt them, let them dry out, then roast them in the oven with olive oil. Mm-hmm. And when that comes out, you put it into a mason jar. All the cooked eggplant. And then you put in about a cup of olive oil. You put in some sliced garlic, some crushed red pepper, maybe some oregano. I think that's the only spice that goes in there. And then you put in probably about 2 tablespoons of vinegar.
So it's pickled.
So it's kind of pickled, right?
Pickled-ish.
Ish. So then, you stir it up really good, but the pieces are still sort of together, right?
Yeah.
You close it up in the jar, you put it in the fridge, or you just put it in the cabinet for about, 2 months to just let it kind of
it ferments.
All marinate, right? And
so
then
go ahead.
We take that and whenever we make a great cold cut sandwich, like mortadella with provolone.
Oh my gosh.
Prosciutto with mozzarella.
Yep.
You throw it right on top and it is just
it's like a condiment.
Oh, I have to try that.
I can tell you instantly when I mention when my mother-in-law mentions, you want to come over for some menejenas? my mouth, I swear to God, just instantly starts to water because I love the flavor.
I found it online, and it says Argentinian pickled eggplant, and it's berenjenas, Berenjenas, al escabeche. So it's like an escabeche, a pickled vegetable dish.
Exactly.
Oh, I want that recipe, Mark.
Chris, I'll send it over to you. I'll get it from my mother.
Yeah, I want that recipe.
I haven't made it myself yet. I always have her make me a couple jars a year. And yep, she usually makes it at the end of the season.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I don't want the recipe. I just want a couple jars.
Yeah, Christmas present.
Can I get on that? Ask your mother-in-law. Can I get on that list? I will trade for food.
This is going to be a good Christmas in the holiday season in general.
Yes.
Anybody listening, who's hearing, all these offers and people saying, I want this, will you give me that? Feel free to join in, everybody.
Faith, I got a question for you. So back in the day, you used to have events, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you used to have events, and a lot of our new Facebook fans have said, you got to do events like you used to do. We would love to come to those. Yeah. So what do you think? Are we ready for that?
Well, I had been thinking we would go to video first.
Okay.
Before we started doing events, we would audio like we are, and then we would go to video, and then we would start doing events. But I really think you're onto something, Cora. Why do we have to wait?
Right.
We could have, maybe somebody would like to host us. A particular restaurant. I mean, I used to do that at Good News Cafe. I would say to Carol Peck, can we come down and we'll just announce that there is, a meetup at your restaurant? And she would say, sure. And then everyone would just order food and drink and there was really nothing to be done except, hang out with people.
Eat, drink, and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Exactly.
Well, I guess, we want the listeners to contact us. So go to Faith Middleton's Facebook page and send her a message or leave a message on a post. Or I guess you could send email to info@pwop.com, PWOP.com. Yeah, let us know. We would love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Instead of like a full-blown event, we could do a meetup.
Right?
Yeah. Just pick a place. We could do it all over different ones all over the state.
Absolutely.
I remember the one one that we did at Carol Peck's, and it was so much fun. And people came from all over the place.
It was jammed with people.
Yeah.
That's
great. We had so much fun. People just kept coming in and leaving and coming in and leaving, and so much.
And Mark can bring a couple jars of Berenjenas, and I could bring some tapenade. Chris can bring some caponata.
Yes. We could have an eggplant party.
Joanne's got her Barta. And Faith's got her
baba
microwave eggplant.
Baba ganoush.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, such a cool idea.
Oh.
Good.
Okay.
Right, let's do it.
All right. So we made another promise. Let's see if
what could happen?
We'll see if we get some interest.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I bet you we will.
Yeah. All right. Listen, okay. So we're going to take off and, we're going to, we'll be right back with you next week. And, we'll pick another thing that we find absolutely delicious and all the ways we can make it delicious. And we hope you'll join us at faithmiddleton.com. I forgot to say that, our mascot, my dog Bon Bon, is with us. He's curled up in his bed.
Oh.
And I did not see him lift his head up at any word we spoke.
That's because you didn't say chicken.
It was all eggplant. It was all, he was like, I can sleep through this.
He's clearly not an eggplant fan.
No, he is not.
Doesn't know what he's missing.
No.
You want to hear something weird? I go to a particular restaurant here in town. Quite often. It's called Amore. It's an Italian, and it's outdoors. And so I go to this place and, for lunch, for dinner, I kind of hang out there, and, I've gotten to be friends with all the wait staff. And,
so is Bon Bon.
He will, and he will not, I order him meatballs every single time.
Oh.
And I cut them all up and I put the plate down, and he sniffs them and he will not touch them. If I bring those meatballs home, and I plop them into his food dish, he gobbles them down. Wow. Now, what would make a dog do that?
Yeah, well trained.
That's interesting. Very well trained. Yeah,
maybe they're too hot when they come off the plate.
No, you're not going to believe this because it looks gross. No, I put them in a glass of water. When they give them to me, I say, it's cold is fine, and they forget sometimes. And so I put the meatballs in a glass of water, get them all cooled off, and then feed them to him, supposedly. Okay, so...
Well, he's a connoisseur, so that sauce is best when it ages for a day.
Right.
Bon.
Okay, all right. I'll see you
Ciao.
soon, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hold on.
Waiting for the summer to come.